Hey, welcome to this week's episode of the Pit Therapy Podcast. I'm Kyle, and we've got Trevor, and then we have a couple really cool guests that I'm actually surprised that we're able to make this work, but we're super excited to have them on. We have Gabe and Dylan from the Australian band Backlash. So,
hello.
I hope this all comes through well. I hope you guys can hear us good. Pretty far away from
clear.
each other, right?
Yeah. Other side of the world.
So the most math I've done in like years was trying to figure out the time difference between us. I think it worked out.
Yeah, dude. I mean, we made you guys have the shit fight of the 9 p.m. slot. We're chilling. It's beautiful afternoon, windows open. So we have to thank you for that, I guess.
We both have kids. So late night, this is our jam. This is what we do. So we're good.
Yeah, but seriously, super grateful to have you guys on. Really excited to talk to you guys. Me and Trevor, we're talking a little bit about you guys because I discovered you for myself. Right? I don't want to say like I discovered you, but like I learned about you all through just like an ad on social media, on Instagram, which funny enough is like a way that I found a few bands that we've talked about. But it was an ad for the song Forever Indebted. And I gotta say, man, like I was instantly like pulled into it. I think it is great. It's one of the better songs, especially from like what we consider a smaller local band, you know. I think you guys absolutely crushed it. So first off, you know, props to you guys, kudos and everything. But yeah, I'm very grateful that you guys would jump on and talk to us. My first question I have for you guys, just right out the gate, because I got to know, I killed the Prom Queen or Parkway Drive?
I drive.
Oh, Parkway, yeah.
It might be closer for Dill, but like, yeah, fucking, nah. Like, riffs, Prom Queen have some riffs, but total package, man. And Adam D doing all the production too just makes it like pinnacle. Like killing with a smile. Funnily enough, we just played a show with Justice and Guilt Trip in Canberra, and
again, they might Justice for the Damned. That's a band. They might not know those guys.
True.
Yeah.
Justice for the Damned. Sick band. Listen to them if you haven't listened to them. We played a show with them in Canberra, and we obviously have a couple new songs, and we've been playing a Terror cover for a little while. We've been doing Stick Tight because fucking so good.
Yeah.
We were like, you know, Forever Indebted is a little bit like throwback metalcore-y, so do we do like a bit of a throwback metalcore cover? And we landed on Anastasis from Killing with a Smile. So yeah, loaded question for sure. We in the camp. But yeah. I'm Team Parkway full stop for sure.
Okay, which is probably understandable. I would say if you asked us, we're probably Team Parkway as well. I just feel like the like global level that Parkway's at. I was curious to know if I Killed the Prom Queen holds a little more weight because maybe they didn't reach that, so it still feels like Australian, right? Not as much global, but like where y'all are from, right?
Yeah.
For sure.
I think there's a lot of like those early Prom Queen records. I feel like everyone who's a Aussie metalcore person or into Aussie hardcore, especially from, you know, back then, they love those records. But yeah, I think everyone holds, you know, those Parkway records like Killing with a Smile and Horizons at like the very top of the pedestal.
Yeah.
You know, I certainly do. Like Horizons is my favorite album of all time.
Okay. So let me ask you guys. I think you guys are a little bit younger than us. How old are you guys? If you care to ask. 29?
I'm 27.
Okay, so we're 35. Killing with a Smile, in my opinion, without a doubt, is the greatest metalcore album of all times. Like Killing with a Smile, again, full stop. That is the album that did it for me. That is the album that like put us at the top. But that being said, Music for the Recently Deceased was a unifier for us when we got into high school. We got into high school and the grade above us or whatever, and like some of those older metalhead kids, like I think it was Kyle was sitting in his shop class and they were blasting Music for the Recently Deceased. And it was just like, dude, this is it. We're friends.
Yeah,
We're friends
Yeah.
now. So
Well, we wouldn't have Parkway without
Yeah.
Prom Queen, right? Like
Yeah.
Crafter
Yeah,
kind of did
fully.
a lot of the uplifting for them, so gotta give them that for sure. But yeah, dude, Killing with Smile fucking rips, and it rips every time you listen to it. It rips in different ways every time you listen to it. Every time I listen to it front to back, I'm like, ah, this is my favorite Parkway song, and it changes every time. But yeah, dude, hearing people on the other side of the world say, "Yeah, Killing with a Smile is the pinnacle," is a good moment of we can speak the same language, because it is an absolutely correct statement for sure.
Yeah.
So, do you get, does the conversation, I mean, I know we just did it, but like, does the conversation of it being Parkway and I Killed the Prom Queen get a little tiresome? Because do you guys feel like there's other bands that maybe should have gotten more clout that should be in those discussions as well? Like, do you feel like it's too much Parkway and I Killed the Prom Queen, or do you feel like you just have to accept what that is and know that there's other good bands out of Australia too?
I think what's funny is that I think in Sydney anyway, I can't speak for the rest of the country, but I feel like we kind of, like, everyone is like, yeah, I love those early Parkway records. I love those early Prom Queen records. But people aren't really going around being like, oh, who do you like more, like Prom Queen or Parkway? I feel like a lot of people at the moment are talking about things that are a little bit more like bands that are coming up at the moment in Sydney and in the rest of Australia as well.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, there's definitely like it's almost like assumed prior knowledge. Like it
Yeah,
doesn't
that's a
need
good way to
it's
put
like
it.
an unspoken, like we don't need to talk about like the fucking best thing to ever happen to hardcore. That happened. It was there. What are we doing next? And then it's like, okay, what about this band? What about this band?
Yeah.
Like I think, and like I guess like the biggest example is Speed, right? Like Speed have done kind of the next big explosion in hardcore. It's also weird to think about getting tired of talking about your favorite stuff. Like, do you ever
Yeah,
really
I could
get
never get
tired
tired of
talking
it.
about Parkway? Like, no.
Ever.
We're also such like a niche genre in general.
Yeah.
Like, I'd feel pretentious to be like, no, I don't want to talk about them anymore. Like, bro, what do you mean? It's so good.
So let me ask you this though, before we kind of move on from it. They're playing the Blues Fest, which is
Weird.
freaking, it's badass.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm glad you just said weird, because I was like,
Yeah.
is this just like an Australian thing? Like Parkway is just so much, like they could be the mayor of the city at this point, kind of thing, you know? So
Yeah, we
it's just
actually talked
assumed they're
about
on it.
we were talking about this in the band chat the other day, and we all have like different brains around, everything. Like our bassist Darnish is very like big picture business music oriented. So like me and Lucas were like, yeah, weird thing to do, but like it's a hometown show for them. It's in Byron. And they haven't played Byron in a long time. So we were like, okay, that makes sense. Like, sure. And then Darnish was immediately like, doesn't matter. They can pull a crowd anywhere. It'll make them heaps of money. And we were like, sure, makes sense. Yeah, I guess.
So it's going to be more interesting to see how annoyed the Blues crowd is at the Parkway crowd kind of thing, right? So
yeah.
I mean, they're probably
Hopefully.
not pulling up playing stuff from Killing with a Smile. So
That was
maybe
also
they
the
do. I don't
thought.
know.
Like maybe they rip out like, your vice grips and your wishing wells and stuff instead.
Yeah.
They did on I can't remember if it was, I think it was the year before last actually, but they were playing these big like 20th anniversary shows in Australia, and they did this big Killing with a Smile medley, where they played for like 9 minutes, mashing up a whole bunch of Killing with a Smile songs. I think they went from like Anastasis to like a Mutiny minus one or two songs, and then played Smoke 'em at the end. It was really sick.
That is sick. Okay, but do you like that though, or do you just want to be like, hey, listen, it's 20 years. I want Killing with a Smile front to back.
Oh, totally.
I want to kill everyone here. Like,
I
that.
I definitely want Killing with a Smile in full, but I'll take what I can get. You know what I mean?
fair. That's fair. That's fair.
I think at that point, I personally hadn't seen them whether it be live or a video of them playing elsewhere in the world, I hadn't seen them playing songs off Killing with a Smile for a really, really long time. And there was even like one or two tracks that they played in that medley that I'd never seen them play before, regardless. Like even back in the day, I'd never seen them play It's Hard to Speak Without a Tongue, which is top 3 off that record for me. So they only played the intro, but the intro is better than never seeing it at all. You know what I mean? So I'm stood there like losing my mind because they're playing the intro to It's Hard to Speak Without a Tongue. So, but so no, sick. To answer your question fully, I would. There's not much I wouldn't do to get a Killing with a Smile in full sort of show, but it was still so sick to see them be playing those old songs again, even in snippets.
I know the Parkway listens to this, so hopefully. No, man.
Dude, I just when did we see them, Trevor? It was what, like
2007, 2008.
And they were
big time, lad.
They were My Children, My Bride, and it was like right when what was that My Children, My Bride album, the first one?
Unbreakable.
And dude, I remember seeing people get like thrown into the merch tables and stuff. And
Hell yeah.
Dude, it was wild. It was crazy. It was a good time.
So this venue, it was a cool venue because it's gone now, but it was like a 400 or 500 cap room on the one side. But if the venue wasn't expecting a big draw, they put it over onto like, what was it? 150, maybe 200 tops. And for some reason, they thought this show was not going to pack out. Dude, people were on top of the merch tables. People were on the stage. Like, it was wild.
Oh, yeah.
It was so sick.
That's what you want.
Yeah, that's mad.
Yeah. Anyways, we wanted to talk to you guys, not Parkway Drive. I mean,
hey, man.
So,
I want to talk to them too.
So, Gabe, you do vocals. Dylan, your guitar. Sorry if
That's right, yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, spot on, man.
Yeah. So how long have you guys like known each other? Or I guess if it's easier, we can start with like how the band got started.
Yeah, it's kind of a weird mashup of both. Because like me and Dylan went to high school together. But I was like 2 or 3 grades above. And we didn't speak. Like I think I maybe said one thing to him because he was wearing band merch in like a like we call a mufti day, like a wear your own clothes, not the school uniform day. And he was wearing band merch, and I kind of went like, cool band merch. And he was like, who's this fucking old dude? Go away. I don't care.
No, what's funny is because it's like Gabe's right. We didn't speak in high school, but we knew who each other were because we were one of like maybe 4 people in the whole school that listened to heavy music. So you see on these days, you see each other walk past wearing merch from some band, and it's like, oh my god, like
they know who they are.
Too, right? Yeah.
Okay.
So we didn't talk to each other, and then I worked at the version of Best Buy that we have here called JB Hi-Fi. So it's pretty much a rite of passage for anyone tattooed and unable to hold down another job is to go work at JB Hi-Fi for a bit. And my friend Chris, who worked there with me, is a mutual friend of Dylan and Lucas. And the only notable thing about Chris is that he looks like Slash and he hates the comparison. So I just need to put that in there. Very excited for November Rain 2. He's working really hard on that. And he put Dylan, Lucas, and our like old drummer in like a messaging group chat, and he named it "Start a Fucking Band" and then left the group chat. And that's pretty much how it started. And he told me that story, and I was like, "That's funny." Do they have guitarists? Because I was a guitarist first, and not a great one. And he said, "Yeah, both of the guitarists and the drummer are there, but they don't have a singer." And I was like, "How good are they though? Like, can I play guitar? Maybe put one of them on bass." And they showed me videos of them playing. I was like, I got to learn a different instrument. These guys are fucking cracked. Insane. Both of them insane guitarists. I was like, fuck it. Like I've sung before. And I did a little bit of like music stuff at university. So I was like, fuck it. I've been yelling at shows for 10 years, blowing my voice out for fun. I'll try blowing my voice out for something a little bit more serious. And that was pretty much it. Started doing some pracs together. It was like 2021, I think, 2020. It was like COVID-y
2020.
sort of times. Yeah. And yeah, just been doing some stuff since then. We took a bit of a while to like speed up and get into it. And so over the last, like, I'd say 18 months or so, we've really been trying to like, we realized how much fun we had doing it already, and we were like, fuck, it is really fun. We might actually have to put some effort into organizing ourselves and doing the not fun shit so that we can do the fun shit. And now that is happening for us, which is really cool.
Sick. So, Dylan, it sounds like you and Lucas were already kind of putting some stuff together. How long have you guys known each other, and what was the original vision of the band? Is this what you guys thought of when you guys came together, or what was the original thought?
Yeah, so Lucas and I, the other guitarists, have probably known each other for like pushing 7 years now. Actually, probably closer to 8. Um, and I remember we were at the time, me, Lucas, and our original drummer. We like listened to heaps of metalcore and hardcore and stuff, but we were big in like a death metal phase. So I probably would have thought at the time, like that we were going to get together and start writing death metal songs. But we were at this festival in Sydney called Invasion Fest. It was just like a whole bunch of like hardcore bands and stuff. Some a little bit more on the metalcore side. So it's like Knock Loose, Jesus Peace, Malevolence, shit like that. I looked at our drummer at the time and I was like, man, should we? Because we knew we had this first jam coming up. I was like, should we just a hardcore band? And he was like, yeah. And so that's kind of where it started. It's still that more like heavy hardcore, metalcore leaning sort of sound. We're not playing like, D-standard trad hardcore sort of riffs.
Yeah.
Although
But
1996
love that
is
shit though.
pretty D-standard.
That's true. We have a song that it's not released, but it's been recorded that is like, there's not a whole lot of metalcore in it. It's pretty through and through hardcore. But yeah, that's kind of how it started. I don't know if we had a super like thought out or defined vision at the time. It was more so like, let's just get a few mates together, play some music, kind of go in a general direction, but sort of keep the doors open a little bit in terms of like what influences we let in, and see what happens. Yeah, it was just kind of, I think, finding our feet. I'm not sure we went into it with like a specific intention to have some kind of really specifically curated sound. It was like, let's just kind of get together, make some riffs, see what happens. Because it was also something, I mean, from my personal experience, it was kind of music that I didn't really have much experience writing prior. So I was definitely finding my feet a little bit when we were starting the band and kind of writing stuff in a slightly different sound that I was maybe used to.
So what did you grow up listening to? What was your like early influences growing up? Or what was the shirt that you were wearing that Gabe was like, hell yeah, bro, we're doing this?
So like answer to 2 questions. Firstly, I think was it like a House versus Hurricane shirt or something, Gabe?
I think it was D at C.
Yeah, okay, maybe.
Crew neck, who was like a guy who, you can look him up, it's still all up there. He'd do like a carrion cover acoustic.
Oh,
so he has like a
sick.
bunch of like acoustic covers of hardcore songs. And I was like, that's cool. I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that was the shirt. I was really into that at the time. But I grew up very much on that sort of 2000s metalcore kind of sound, which we're kind of, our writing is steering a little bit back that way now, but it wasn't when we started the band. So I think that's why those kind of core influences of mine didn't translate as directly into the writing initially. But yeah, in terms of like what I grew up on, it was very, very much like early Parkway, Killswitch Engage, stuff like August Burns Red, deathcore like Whitechapel, All Shall Perish, stuff like that. And then it mellowed out a little bit. I was listening to a bit more like sort of softer metalcore, post-hardcore stuff, and then swung really far back the other way from when I was like 16 to 20 odd and was listening to heaps of like death metal and black metal and stuff. Bit of hardcore here and there, but like really sort of got into hardcore maybe when I was like 19, 20. And then it all just started blending. And yeah, it would sort of dip in and out of each sort of scene and subgenre. Yeah.
Sick.
Look, man, that's the way to do it. Like, you're speaking our language, because like I grew up initially like into like punk, you know, Bad Religion, Rancid.
Fuck yeah.
You know, and then you get introduced to like, well, then AFI drops like Sing the Sorrow, and you start getting like post-hardcore, and then you get into a little bit of metalcore, because same thing, dude. Like the metalcore band you were talking about, like August Burns Red, Parkway, Killswitch, like that's exactly the track we took, you know. And
sick. I was gonna ask actually, yeah.
Yeah, and like what's cool though is like I genuinely do feel like we can hear like you pull, you know, because like you write most of the guitar stuff then, right?
It's pretty 50-50.
Okay.
Yeah. On the new stuff that's coming out, I guess, whenever. Lucas wrote the lion's share of that actually. So I wrote most of Forever Indebted, but there's maybe like 5 other songs, and I think Lucas wrote 4 of them.
Okay.
So yeah, it kind of depends on who's feeling inspired at the time, I guess.
Sure. And that's
we
cool.
We split it a lot, which is nice.
Yeah, like the point I was going to make, because me and Trevor talked about this, is like there's times where we're like, man, this could be like MySpace deathcore almost, you know, not the like overproduced deathcore stuff that you hear, but there's like we could hear all this influence. And to us, like, first of all, I'm a big sucker for like melodic hardcore, melodic metalcore. So like Forever Indebted, I think that's a big part of what like instantly caught me, right? Was there's like this heavy hardcore, and then there's like melodic guitar parts over it. Like, dude, this is like my musical wet dream, basically.
Oh, that's awesome.
But like listening to the older stuff, it's like, man, this is such like a nostalgic sound for me and Trevor, right? This is the heavy stuff that we grew up on that really got us into the scene, and it was like a big draw. And so I'm super happy to hear like the influences that you have and Lucas, and even your vocals, Gabe, is very, very, very reminiscent of like what me and Trevor grew up on.
Thank you. That's means a lot.
Let's just ask you then, what are you pulling from? Yeah, what are you pulling from for vocals?
Dude, I mean, for like how the vocals sound, and it's like kind of giving myself away a little bit, but like it's the thing I can do most consistently without blowing my voice out. Like I'm not aiming for anything specific on some of the newer stuff. There was a conscious effort of like, I need to try and incorporate like a higher scream to have like a bit more dynamics and something a little bit more isn't straight the same thing all the time. But saying that, like Ghost Inside kind of sounds consistent, and he's incredible. I got a lot of my musical direction through like video games. So like I was like I'm still a big gamer, but I was a big gamer as a kid. And so like the soundtracks of, you know, Tony Hawk's Underground and even one that's like a little bit more niche there was a game called Motorstorm, which was like a release title for the PS3 that had Before I Forget by Slipknot on it. And I think I remember that being a pretty specific, like, okay, he's kind of screaming and singing. I like that. I'm going to go further. So yeah, any of those sorts of scream. I mean, there's so many cool bands that scream real loud. I think my like Counterparts is probably one of my favorite bands of all time. Like, and it's one of the things that me and Dill specifically kind of like mind melded on of like, okay, this is one of the only people in the world that I've met that likes them as much as I like them, which is a significant amount. but a lot of the stuff that sort of influences like the lyrical side is all like pop punk and Midwest emo. It would all be like Movements are incredible. American Football are one of my favorite bands of all time. A Sydney band called Perspectives are one of my favorite bands of all time. They never really got outside Australia as far as I'm aware, but they're incredible band lyrically and sonically. So yeah, lots of different stuff. But the main thing is like that we all consciously pretty early on were like the thing that we want to do more than anything else is play shows. We really enjoy playing shows. So how can I play more shows and have a voice? And that's kind of where it's landed at for the moment.
Sick. So, okay. This was a big question as we were looking at you guys. In terms of shows these days out in Australia, you guys had a post that was like, dude, we got to play an all ages show. This was dope. We need more of these. So, what is the state of shows out there? Like, is it all 18 and older, or like where are you guys at?
Yeah, we're kind of
a lot of 18 plus. Yeah.
Yeah, we're
Sorry,
kind of
Gabe, go on.
post the Great Depression of like Australian hardcore music, because there was a period between like 2016 and 2020-ish, I would say, where like a lot of shows weren't great, and we used like there's a bunch of like really cool Instagram pages that just post like old show flyers, and one of the first things that you notice is they're all ages. Like everything from that time when Parkway were blowing up, when Prom Queen, Carpathian, like the Red Shore, like all of those sick bands that were non-stop touring all the time. Every show was all ages, and that isn't the case anymore, but it's getting better. It's getting way better recently. One of our friends runs like an all ages like monthly show at like community centers around Sydney, and specifically like outside of like the metro area of Sydney. It's called Your Locals. That's really cool. All the shows are all ages, and it's one of the best shows we've played. I think I can pretty confidently say. Like, I think the average age was like 17 or 18, including our friends who came, who were 30s. Like it was young.
Possibly younger, dude.
Yeah, it was.
There were
It was crazy.
a lot of youngins there. It was mad.
Yeah, really cool. So yeah, the trend has been 18s and older. There's something to say about like the monetization of bar sales, meaning that bands that don't pull a crowd can play more shows because they sell alcohol in the bar. So in the numbers, it looks better. But we like in good news, it's definitely trending back towards like more all ages, to like at least a 50-50 break. If not, we're starting to get more all ages than not, which is really cool.
So do you think this? Oh, go ahead, Kyle. I've asked a bunch of stuff.
I was just going to ask, like, we, a lot of places in the US, like we go through cycles as well, right? Where like hardcore kind of dips and bounds or whatever. One thing though is like you start to see the rebound when all the DIY stuff starts to come back. Is prevalent in Australia? Is it harder to like find a rundown place and throw a hardcore show, or is it like difficult to where you do kind of have to find some established venues to play shows in?
I think, yeah, I don't, these days at least, I'm not too sure about I think back in the day, there was a bit more DIY stuff going on. There's not heaps that I'm aware of at the moment. You see a little bit every now and then. There's a label in Canberra called Uzi Akimbo. They do some house shows sometimes, which is really cool. So it's like 3 hours south of Sydney for context. There's been a big spike in local shows in like community centers and stuff. So yeah, I don't know if there's a whole lot of DIY stuff. I mean, in a way, it's still DIY.
Yeah,
they're using like a community center venue, but it's all like young people in the scene you know, doing all of the admin work behind booking the show themselves, like any kind of like finances that have to be involved in the shows is just out of the pockets of these young people putting the shows on, selling tickets for real cheap, all ages shows where possible, just, you know, doing it for the sake of having cool shows on, spaces for people to come to, see bands, spaces for bands to play. So yeah, it's not so much like DIY in, I guess, you know, the sense of
like a skate park or something,
or,
right?
Yeah, like
Matt,
or a warehouse or something.
There's
But
been
the
DIY
DIY ethics of it
recently.
are so prominent.
Yeah,
Good.
I've seen a few skate park shows come back actually in the last couple of months. Couple in Sydney and a couple in Melbourne. I think like the idea of a DIY show as well, like the concept of what DIY means has probably changed a little bit as well, because like you can't really run a show without doing the like things that maybe wouldn't have been seen as DIY 10, 15 years ago. Like you have to have a social media presence because everybody's so used to having that be the way that you consume information. Whereas before, everybody's so desperate to like go to a hardcore show that they go to the community center and look at the board, or they go to the MySpace forum, or they go to the, you know, the Blogspot forum, and they go that way. And now everybody's used to consuming it through this like mass platform that, yeah, like people run DIY through that kind of ingratiated system. But yeah, they're still doing. Yeah, Uzi's Akimbo are so sick. They're from Canberra, predominantly like a straight edge run event as well, which is fucking sick. There's Life Lair Regret in Melbourne do a lot of like underground stuff for smaller bands. That's really cool. There's Axe Kick bookings are from like where we're from, but in the like mountains. So we have like mountains about 2 hours away. They're like 18 and 19-year-olds putting on shows with bands that have been in the scene for longer than they've been alive, which is like a crazy thing to think about. Kingpin, as Dylan was saying, is another one that's like out west of us. That's like quote unquote the socio-economic not metro part of Sydney that they're running.
No, Kingpin's Melbourne.
Oh, Kingpin's Melbourne.
Kingpin's Melbourne game.
Yeah. But yeah, like so many sick fucking things going on that it is bringing it back to where it's accessible to everyone. Everyone can come have a go. Everyone can learn to two-step without feeling fucking embarrassed. Like that's what you want.
So we're talking about social media. And we're talking about these younger kids. They're starting to come back and everything. Are they coming for social media clips? Or are they coming to actually understand and learn and understand what the old hardcore metalcore scene was and what to do there? Because like, listen, Gabe, I saw you jump off the stage and start swinging. have you caught a 16-year-old yet and dropped him?
I want to be very clear. I jump off the stage and start swinging because nobody else does it yet, right? Like we're a small open band. Someone has to do it, okay? It's not because it's cool, and it's not because I've appropriately stretched and I am sore and my finger is currently about to be x-rayed because probably broken from Canberra. But yeah, I think way more often than not, it's young kids like hardcore and want to dance. Like I don't think there's that bad actor clip farming, because why the fuck would you do that in this niche? Like,
you
dude,
say
go
that
niche. Like,
you say that, but you got to get on social media for some of the US stuff, because there's some pockets where like, and listen, like if you go to like the real hardcore stuff, like typically it's what you're saying, but every now and again you'll see these pockets of like kids like shadow boxing in the pits and stuff like that. And they're like, and straight up, like they are filming for social media clips. You're like,
right,
what are you doing? And it's just like, it's not what it is. But usually those kids, like, they weed themselves out fairly quickly.
Yeah, because they get mad when I come in and Spartan kick them, and it's like, what are you doing, man?
I would say that
it's a rite of passage, you know.
Yeah, we have the old head version of that and this can be a controversial opinion, but the old head version of that is like the big dudes who crowd kill the little girl on the edge of the pit. Like, it's the same shit. You're being performative
fuck
for
that
no
bitch.
reason. Like, the pit is the pit so that you can swing hands. Why am I seeing you fucking elbowing the tiny femme presenting person at the edge of the pit? Like, what are we doing? So yeah, I don't think it matters
Good
about
point, man.
the generation. I think it's you
Yeah.
get people who are there for the wrong reasons, regardless of how long you've been doing it. But on the whole, and the majority, everybody's there to have a good time, which is cool.
Sick.
Off that, Gabe, there's I saw this tweet ages ago from Jay from Mindforce.
Yeah.
And it was something like, everyone who like gets on stage to punch the people in the front row for your 15-second clip, get the fuck in the middle on the dance floor with everyone else, coward, or some shit like that. It was so funny. Like,
you know what's cool, dude? Because we've actually talked about that. When he said that, it kind of quit happening. You know,
good.
Good for him. Or at least in the US, we didn't see it as much because we talked mad crap on that all the time too.
Yeah.
You know, we grew up in a hardcore scene that's like kind of known for being pretty aggressive and violent. And like, we've talked about, like, you hit the wrong dude doing that, like, you better be ready to get beat up by a couple guys in the parking lot. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so like we saw a lot less of that, but now, you know, kids come in, they see clips of it on social media. I think that's what you do. And there's not enough old heads in there to like stop it, you know?
Okay.
Like, which is why I think a lot of these older bands are coming back. Like a lot of these old hardcore bands are starting to release music again and get more involved because it's like, you know, we need it now.
I mean, listen to Terra, or, you know, even Vincent from the Acacia Strain talking about why they're on stage, and I think that solves all the problems, man. Like, it's out there if you want to see it. People are there to have a good time, to dance.
Talking about violence at shows, man. Every Acacia Strain show.
Okay.
You know?
Okay. I just got a soapbox here on that comment right there, because the last Acacia Strain show I went to, pit got wild, kid gets dropped just like flat, swept off his feet kind of thing. And to the point where like the pit stopped moving and everyone's like, dude, is he dead? And like everyone's like yelling for security to come over and help, like to pick him up and just get him out and everything. But they're waving at the band to stop. And Vincent's up there just screaming, being like, what do you want me to do? Like, regardless, he's there. Vincent's one of the best dudes in the scene. Like, but he knows what the scene is. He knows what it's about. As long as the kid's not dead and the staff's not telling him to stop, he's not stopping for the crowd telling him to stop. So,
for sure.
People mosh in the U.S. like they have universal health care, you know, and we don't. It's like a big risk, I'm saying.
Sorry to mention
you
that
guys should get wild, man. You can go to the doctor.
I shouldn't have mentioned that. That's I'm
literally
flexing on the Americans.
I've never had an X-ray. I've never had one. And I'm 100% sure that there's been some issues. I'm pretty sure, a torn rotator cuff right now. And not doing it. So, cost too dang much.
Crazy, man.
You just man up and die, you know? So. Yeah. All right. So I did want to ask like a little more about some of the like Australian scene, because you brought up like all these other towns. Is it super hard to like, do you feel like it's Australia hardcore or is it Sydney hardcore? Like, is there a difference? Is there a separation between all, like, is Sydney hardcore different than Melbourne hardcore, or is it all just Aussie hardcore?
I don't know if, you know, like having lived in Sydney my whole life, I don't know if I can answer that. There's probably slightly different sort of, I think I don't know if there's a difference city to city in the sound, maybe in like, you know, some of the cultural makeup. I don't know. I can only really speak for Sydney. But with that said, actually, I think a lot of the hardcore bands that I hear out of, say, a city like Adelaide are a bit more on the sort of traditional hardcore punk sort of sound. Same with bands from Newcastle. So actually, you know what? Maybe there is a bit of there is a bit of like a distinction in the sort of sounds you get from city to city. Newcastle has a fucking great hardcore scene. Like big shout out to Newcastle hardcore.
Yeah, for sure. We were supposed to play a show there at the end of last year, and we were so excited. And the band that put it on, unfortunately, stopped being a band as we were getting ready to play the show. But yeah, dude, Newcastle hardcore, so good. I think the like rep your postcode shit has been a little bit of a re-emergence over the last like 4 years or so. Like yelling your postcode in a breakdown was definitely a thing that you could hear at like a Sydney show for a while. I don't know if that's a Melbourne thing as well, but it was definitely a thing at a Sydney show for a little while. But yeah, I think there is definitely like an Australian hardcore sound for sure.
Yeah, definitely.
As opposed
Australian
to like
metalcore sound too.
Yeah, as opposed to like an American or a European or a UK hardcore sound. And then the differentiations between like the scenes in Australia are probably like from the outside a little bit less defined. And then when you're in them, you're like, yeah, like I kind of get what's going on here.
Yeah. So I think part of what Kyle was asking though is like, do scenes beef? Right?
I mean, that's not because
when I was a kid,
I don't think so.
They did. When I was I started to go into shows, I don't know. This might have been like a little bit before Dill, like maybe like a year or two before Dill, not that long, but there was definitely like specifically a beef on like the sides of Sydney. Like I specifically remember a big fight at a youth centre between some bands from like the central coast of Sydney and Western Sydney over whatever the fuck you fight about at a hardcore show. Like, dude, I don't know, man.
Dumb, dude. Whatever. Yeah.
You stole my Carbon Breakdown, okay? We stole our Carbon Breakdown. What are you doing, man?
Yeah.
But today just feels like everyone's just kind of together, pretty
for sure.
unified.
I think so. Yeah. I would say so for sure.
Is it hard to tour? Like, because like I'm an idiot, right? But I do, if I remember correctly, like the middle of Australia is just nothing, right? But there is population on the coast.
There's a lot of nothing for sure.
So is it hard? Like, because in the US, right? Like you tour, like bands from New York up in the far away can like drive through, and there's stops all along the country, all the way. That's not Australia, right? Are you kind of confined to like your coast? Do you ever get to the other side?
It's definitely hard to tour Australia. So the two biggest cities in Australia are Sydney and Melbourne, and they're at least 9 hours apart driving. Wow. And that's 9 hours with no stops, you know. And then Brisbane is probably the biggest city behind that. That's 10, 11 hours from Sydney, you know. The closest thing would be like Canberra, 3 hours south, Newcastle, 2 hours north. And then Perth is a 5 hour flight away. You know what I mean? Yeah, it is hard for bands to go city to city, I think, especially when they're smaller. Don't get me wrong. They definitely still do it. I think that makes it really special. Mm-hmm. And it's certainly like really special for me as a punter, you know, like as just someone in the scene, in the audience, when we have small bands drive 9 hours from Melbourne to play a local show to 50, 100 people, give or take. It's awesome. Like we played with a fantastic band from Melbourne called Identity Era. Huge shout out to them. I really recommend you listen to them. They're wonderful people, an amazing band. There are a few, while I'm on this sort of tangent, there's a few metalcore bands from Melbourne right now that I think you guys would really love.
Oh, dude.
I was
waiting for the drop.
You have to listen to a band called Blood on My Hands. B, ends in tragedy, and then C, identity era. There are so many great bands from Melbourne at the moment. Forewarned as well. Last year put out, I think it was last year, like one of like probably one of the best hardcore records I think I've ever heard in my life. Honestly, like it was called Only God Forgives. Oh, it's so good, man. So
yeah.
I can't even remember what the original question was. Oh, that's right. Getting city to city. Yeah. Yeah, it is definitely hard to tour, but it just makes it so much more special when bands from other cities do come over, or when other bands take you to another city. Like we played our first sort of interstate show with Justice for the Damned and Guilt Trip the other week, and that was awesome for Justice to take us on that show and get to meet people in another city, because the scenes are so far apart in Australia.
Sick.
Cool. That's awesome to hear. And we'll definitely check out these bands and stuff. And I was actually at the end of this going to ask, like, shout out some more Australian bands, because
we've got more in the tank.
Our goal is to go global, man. Like we're trying to go global. No, I'm just kidding. But seriously, that's awesome. That's sick.
So what is the goal then? So you guys are starting to play shows. Where are you guys looking to take this? Do you guys want to tour internationally? Do you just want to have a consistent presence in Australia? What's the goal with Backlash?
I think you'd get a different answer from anyone in the band that you asked, to be honest. I think if you ask me, I think I want to play more shows wherever they happen to be. I just like playing shows. We are a very small band, and we need to reiterate the fact that you guys are very lovely to have us here because of how little really impact or presence we have. But we have had some people start to yell words I wrote on my notes app at 3 a.m. in a manic episode before a day of work of a job I don't want to go to back at me on stage so that I can pit instead of singing, because it's really hard to sing, but it's not hard to pit. And as long as that keeps happening, like I'm fucking stoked.
Dylan, where do you want this to go? Just
playing the Byron Bay Blues Festival.
You are the next one.
Hell yeah, dude. No, I just want to have fun with it. It's like, it's so just for the love of it. So I think I'm just happy to take whatever comes. If we're playing local shows in Sydney for the next 10 years, hell yeah. If at some point some band for some unbeknownst reason from overseas asks us to play overseas, 100%. I would love it. Yeah, I don't know if I personally have any sort of set or defined goals other than to just sort of enjoy it and enjoy the process of writing music, playing music with other people. Some of the best parts of it are just playing shows with other bands that are just kind of like-minded, or and meeting people at shows that you maybe wouldn't have met otherwise, or you hadn't run into at a show yet. Yeah, all of those really small dynamics are my favorite part of being in this band. Just playing shows with other little bands. Like sometimes everyone obviously thinks about how amazing it would be to be like full-time touring band, big band, but I honestly think one of the most fulfilling things you can do as a musician is to just like play in a local band with other local bands and meet local people, or people between one town over, one city over, because it's just a really amazing thing, and it's such a unifying force. The fact that we're talking to you guys on the other side of the world is so cool, and none of that would be happening if it weren't for, you know, like grassroots metalcore and hardcore sort of stuff, you know. So yeah, that's I think that there's a very long-winded answer to a not very long question. But
no,
you know,
it's we love to hear that, and we talk all the time about like just doing stuff for the love of the game, right? Because that's what hardcore is, you know. Like,
Nah, dude.
Not to talk shit on like other genres and stuff, but like we have reached out to bands from like other genres that it almost feels like, and I'm not like getting mad that like people don't talk to us, right? Like it's whatever.
We're literally nobodies.
We're literally nobodies. But that brings up the point, right?
Great.
There's been like bands that like we have no business talking to us. You know what I mean?
Sure.
But like, because the scene you grow up in, the scene you're a part of, like, man, we're all like just here for the same reason, and it's like the love of the game. And so like I love hearing that answer, because like yeah, man, it would be sick to play around the world and make all this money and do this for a living, but like that's not what it's about. You know, if you can do that, great. But like just to write music that you have something to say about and have kids repeat it back to you has got to be the most like fulfilling feeling in the world, you know? So
yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
So let me ask this, because you say that, appreciate it, and that is why we do this podcast. Is literally Kyle and I are just interested. Like, you guys want to talk to us about Australian hardcore? We love it. That being said, you guys had the vocalist from Polaris on a song.
Not
Polaris
the vocalist. The drummer.
Oh, the drummer. Oh, okay.
Yeah, super weird feature. But yeah, Dan's the drummer of Polaris, who's done a bunch of like backing vocals for Polaris. And he's also done them for like Alpha Wolf and some of the other bands. And he's really good friends with Darnish, our bassist. They grew up together. So we were like, hey, do you want to do some more screaming? And he's like, yeah, okay, I'll do it.
I mean, you guys say you're small, but Polaris, at least here, is listed at about 1 million listeners. Like, it's a pretty big damn deal.
The name tag was definitely emphasized for making us feel better. But yeah, no, I think it speaks to like, hey, community is the be all end all. Like, without community, without that kind of friendship of Darnish, you know, growing up in the area that he did and going to the local hardcore shows that he did, he probably wouldn't have met them, and that wouldn't have happened. So yeah, super. Yeah. Very cool to have. And it's also cool that he's the drummer and he did it. Like, I think that's the best part of the fact that he screamed on our song, and he sounds great. Like, it's such a cool feature.
Yeah, that song's dope. What did Speed do for you guys? Like, not you guys specifically, but Australian hardcore. What did Speed do for you guys coming out of what you were calling like this down period of 2016 to 2020?
Man, honestly, like Speed have put a spotlight on Australian heavy music in a way that, in my opinion, no one has done since Parkway Drive. And it has been wild. Not only the attention that, you know, we've seen the rest of the world sort of cast back to Australian heavy music because of Speed and their profile. And they're a phenomenal band. They deserve all the success that they have. But it's their reach is enormous. Like, I went to Outbreak Fest in the UK in 2024. Every second person was wearing a Speed shirt, and I was there with my friend Zach, who's been a head in the scene for years, and Speed are just like his mates, you know, like some of his close friends. He's like, this is so random. All these people from the UK and Europe who've traveled, like, wearing my mate's band's merch. But they've also just sparked up such vigor in Australia for hardcore. Like, the amount of new hardcore bands that have popped up since Speed is huge.
That's awesome.
I don't think it can be overstated, the impact that Speed has had on Australian heavy music, and specifically Australian hardcore. And the cool thing about Speed as well is they've all been in the scene in different bands for like 10 plus years. You know, Jem from Speed has said in a bunch of interviews, they started Speed literally because they just wanted there to be an extra band to fill a bill on local shows, and then they've just exploded. And last year they won this $80,000 grant from the state government.
I saw that.
Yeah, and they have they're putting all of that money back into funding bi-monthly all ages hardcore shows in Australia.
So freaking sick.
I can't remember if it's across the country or just in Sydney specifically. I can't remember, but that's an amazing thing. And it just shows that it's just all about the culture for them, you know? And I think that influence will be really important on other bands. You know, I mean, I don't think you really need, you know, that idea of, you know, when one of us wins, everyone wins is very embedded in hardcore and heavy music already. But I think to have it so prominently on display will really build those like communal ethics even further from, you know, what is already such a strong foundation and base in Australian music. So yeah, I think it's an awesome thing. They're a great band doing really cool things. And yeah, I think the impact that they've had on hardcore in the country and the impact that they're going to have moving forward is, you know, an amazing thing, and probably going to be even more amazing. They seem to just go from strength to strength. So yeah, it's super cool to see.
For me, because I think you're absolutely right, I think the interesting thing that from my point of view, and listen, there was a period where I probably wasn't like paying attention or doing as much research on bands as I did, as like you get out of high school, you get busy, you start doing stuff. Some of that starts going away. You just listen to the music, right? But Parkway was so we are Australia. You know what I mean? Like they put on for Australia. Speed puts on for Australia. The bands like the Amity Affliction, North Lane, Thy Art Murder, like all those guys, like I listened to all of them. If you had told me that they were from the US, I would have believed you. If you had told me they were from the UK, I would have believed you. It wasn't necessarily them putting on for Australia the way that I feel like a couple of these notable big acts have. Now that again, that could just be me being outside and not doing as much research and stuff like that. But I feel like they were touring all the time in the US that it was like, there's no way these guys are like, you know what I mean? Like they have to live here. So do you guys feel the same, or did I just miss the boat on some of those? Was there another one who really put on for Australia the way that you feel like maybe some of those bands did?
I think Parkway and Speed are, I think you're right. I think that it is like intrinsic in their identity that it is Australian. Like, I think that is their, like, you know, you can only yell Sydney style over a breakdown so many times before someone Googles what the fuck are you saying, and then they're like, oh, Sydney, Australia, makes sense. So yeah, I think that was a conscious effort that Speed made to, you know, bring Australian hardcore to the forefront. And I think it helped from the bands that they were in before, because I think Relentless is one of the bands that they came from. Fucking great band. Listen to Relentless.
Sick
they
band,
are so good. They did it too. I think they were very like Sydney focused and Australia focused. And so I think a lot of that probably like has been a part of their identity for a long time.
Just sorry to interrupt, Gabe, just as a nice little anecdote, I think, or not anecdote, but point. I'm pretty sure, I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure Relentless were the first Australian band to play Sound and Fury as well.
Oh, sick.
Which is mad.
Yeah. Dude,
check that
Relentless and Terror, just like hand in hand, match made in heaven bands, like so good.
Sick.
So yeah, I think, I definitely don't think you've missed the boat on that. And I also don't think that those bands that you mentioned did anything actively to dissuade people from thinking that they were, you know, Aussie. I think it's more a fact of like they had to find the market that would accept them and give them the opportunity to play shows, which you guys have more of that than we do, at the capacity that people wanted to see them.
And in terms of like the members personally, like I'm 100% sure, they're not going to say, no, we're not Australian, right? But it does seem like the band ethos of those two bands specifically, like very much it was like Australian doing Deep Blue and stuff like that. Like you hear the waves crashing, their background as surfers and all that stuff. Like the ocean is like a part of who they are. Like Australia is a part of who they are. Same with Speed, just like, again, Yelling Sydney style, all that stuff. Versus some of these other bands, yeah, personally, 100%. I'm sure that they're repping for Australia, but the bands themselves, it's not like we're going to go out there and we're like all the time talking like we're Australian, So
For sure.
Trevor's just mad that he found out Keith Urban's from Australia. That's the truth of it, all right?
Yeah.
Is that really true?
Yeah,
dude.
It is true.
Yeah,
that is wild. I had no idea. So
I did want to just real quick ask about like your new music and stuff. Again, like I can't say how much, like how good Forever Indebted is. We've said it before. Like the people that listen to us, like, please go listen to the song. Like, seriously, it's so good. So you're writing more music, EP, full length. Are you still recording stuff, or what's the deal on new music?
Well, I'm recording tomorrow. Funnily enough, finishing off some songs. They were supposed to be done end of last year, and then my wisdom tooth got infected, which is counterintuitive to yelling real loud, unfortunately. So yeah, there's like 5 more from Forever Indebted. Originally, it was going to be a whole EP, and then like the algorithm of it all kind of decides that singles are the best way to get more people to hear your music, and I didn't like I'm the pretentious wanky one from time to time who's like, no, it's my fucking it's my art, it's my be all end all. There's a theme, there's a consistent theme that needs to be packaged correct, and then it kind of just doesn't land, doesn't work as well. And it also doesn't matter that much. Like the song is the song. It doesn't need to be this whole fucking be all end all magnum opus thing of a fucking 29-year-old hardcore guy saying, sometimes I get real sad, man. You want to talk about it? So yeah, we got more. Yeah, we got like 5 more, and they should all be out this year, hopefully. But yeah, recording tomorrow to finish them off, and then it's just mixing and mastering, and we'll be done. Speaking of mixing and mastering, MJB Audio is like one of our best friends. He's a producer, and he's in a band called Urkin Armada, who
So good.
If you were like, oh my God, every time I die, it doesn't exist anymore, life's not worth living, Urkin Armada are that. Like they are exactly what you need and want, and he's like the nicest human, and like one of our best friends. And we wouldn't be able to do anything we do without him. Definitely.
Yeah, for sure.
I would say he's like the 6th member of Backlash, but we've had so many fill-ins because nobody except me wants to play every show. So he's more like the 8th member or the 9th member, I think. But yeah, he's like fucking integral to everything we do, and I would be annoyed if I forgot to talk about Macca. So I'm talking about Macca now.
Yeah, we love that dude. So talented. Yeah. And Urkin Armada just put out new music as well.
Sick.
Cool.
We'll check that out.
So good.
So
okay, sorry, Trevor. You can go. I just have one last question, but yeah, you can go. I'll ask you.
I was just gonna say, from your guys' catalog, so No Peace in the Reprieve, The Hell We Find Ourselves In, Forever Indebted. Give me your guys' give me the top 2 Backlash songs for both of you. Dill, let's start with you. Like, what is your top 2 Backlash songs that are currently out? Not that you've written that we can't hear. So
yeah, okay. Forever Indebted is my favorite, including like songs that haven't been released. Like that's my favorite Backlash song we've ever written.
Sick.
My second favorite out of all the songs that are out is maybe maybe Pious.
Okay.
I really like that one. I really like playing that one. I really like playing that one live. Our friend Mackenzie that runs MJB Audio that Gabe was just talking about, he features on that, and he has a fucking monster voice. So it sounds
sick. He's so much better than me. It's crazy. Like, I go into track vocals and I'm like, just you do it, man. Like, why am I trying?
Mac is that dude that it's like, if you do something in music, like you mix stuff, you play guitar, you sing. Unfortunately, sorry to tell you, Macca is probably better than you.
Better than you, yeah, 100%.
Just such a talented guy. Like, fuck.
So sick.
And he's handsome, and he's like 6'5", and it's like, shut up, man. Like,
there's just no competing.
Yeah, absolutely not. None at all. The only thing that saves us is he's decided that band is the band he wants to do. So, like, okay, cool. Now he has his band. Everybody else can do whatever they want. You know, he's not there to take your spot.
Sick. All right, Gabe, give it to me. What are your top two?
I think Forever Indebted is also probably my favorite currently. It does change. I'm definitely one of the like, no, the new one's the best one. No, the new one's the best one. Yeah. But yeah, I do like getting Forever Indebted out was so sick, and I'm so happy it exists. And then I think I'd probably go A Good Day for the Crows is my second favorite because it has a stupid name that I get to say silly things about on stage. I ripped the title from the 2002 epic action adventure movie Troy, starring Eric Banner and Brad Pitt, and I like to put that little spiel in it because the song has nothing to do with that movie, but I stole the title from it. And it's one of the more difficult ones to do live, just because there's like lots of words and it's a beat downy tune.
Sick.
So I like listening to it and being like, I'm glad I'm not doing that right now. That fucking sucks when we have to do it.
Sick. So I'm just gonna give you my top two.
Sure.
And listen, Forever Indebted, we're just gonna leave that one to the side because it is phenomenal. It's fantastic. Sure. Okay. But
thank you, man.
Abject Horror, when we were talking about like the deathcore aspect of like you guys could potentially be on that verge, that opening riff that you have, it is so nasty. It's so fast. It's so aggressive. It's so sick. Absolutely fantastic. But I actually really like A Facade as well.
Yeah,
back
from
No Peace in the Reprieve.
Truthers, man.
Dude,
Facade, I'm so sick of playing that song. Thank you so much for liking it. Thank you so much. That's so sweet of you. But I'm so sick of playing it.
Oh man, it is so good. I was cooking dinner tonight and I just had it on, and it is fantastic. I did just go back and listen to Pious, and that breakdown with Mac's vocals over just that bass line, dude, absolutely nasty.
Oh, it's just so cool, dude. Like, if we play that live and no one's moving because we're the opening band, like Macca we often rope him into coming and doing his feature live, and we play that part. Macca does his guest vocals, and then people start moshing.
Sick. So sick. It's awesome. But yeah, I mean, Forever Indebted, we could be here for another hour just talking about how good this single is. So I am extremely looking forward to the remainder of what you guys are putting out. So Kyle, you said you had one more.
Yeah. My last question is, Gabe, well, first of all, this isn't a question, but I appreciate not being the only follically challenged guy on the podcast. I always call that out. It helps to represent. Especially because you both have long hair, and I don't want to hear it, Dylan. Like, I just, you know.
No, dude, you can't tell, but it's on the way out. I'll be with you. I'll be with you shortly.
All right.
I will send you pictures from his wedding, and you'll appreciate that.
No, I was just gonna say, like, dude, I don't see people with stretched ears anymore. Is it like,
yeah, true?
Do you see kids with them now, or is it like, do you stand out now? Because I just don't see them anymore.
Yeah, I think it is like a little bit less prevalent than when I was going to shows for sure. Everybody looks way cooler now. Like, I think there has been a trend towards like a conscious effort of like, I'm going to a hardcore show, I'm not going to look like shit, which is cool. For you, not for me personally. I'm going in shorts and slides if I can. But I definitely think it's less prevalent for sure. I always wanted them from when I was fucking looking at Matt Heafy, and I was like, that's a guy I want to look like. That guy's cool.
We had like a couple guys in our scene that had like pretty large ones, man, pretty large gauges. But I never was really interested in them. I always thought they were cool, but then like I saw this dude get in a fight, and one guy like stuck his finger in it and just ripped. And I was like, no, like.
Just looks like the little not a fighter, man.
Bleeding. Yeah, like no, we're good. You know.
Yeah, I'm a lover, not a fighter. That's not going to happen to me.
That's cool.
I'm gonna say something funny, and while you're thinking about what I said, I'm running away. So that's the goal.
Yeah. Well, we appreciate that, Dilla. Your style. I was listening to Pastures. I did catch Pastures.
Listen, that's wild. Didn't expect that to come up.
Listen, my man. When we do this, we are legit journalists in our own ways, right? So I did listen to some Pastures. It's dope. And your style fits a little bit better with that scene. We'll say that.
Dude.
I feel like I'm probably...
Dill looks like what the hardcore kids in Sydney look like, I would say. Like,
oh yeah,
there's a good proponent that look like that. So yeah, I think he fits in well.
Sick. Listen, I've got no room to talk. I'm wearing like jogging shorts with like neon green liners underneath of them, and this is like my normal concert wear. So I'm always the dumbass in the corner. So you know,
it's true. I'm not even arguing that one. Yeah, no. But seriously, guys, super grateful that you could jump on. Great talking with you all. Really excited to see the rest of the stuff coming out. And like we're gonna do some more research on some Aussie bands, and you know, if you guys got other bands that you want to try and help out, like send them our way, man. We're happy to talk to any of them. So you know,
awesome.
Grateful to have you on.
Thank you so much for having us.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you so much. Like we kind of we didn't, I guess, really get to touch on this at the start because we just like immediately started talking about music and stuff. But yeah, thank you so much for like taking the time to reach out to us and to have us on and talk to us. This is such a special thing for us, you know, being in Australia, being such a small band. The fact that anyone wants to talk to us about our music is really peculiar in a way. We've never had anyone reach out to us to ask us to speak with them about the music, and so it's a really cool thing for us to be able to do this, and it's really kind of you to sort of extend that hand for us. We really appreciate it, and just such a pleasure to meet you both and to talk to you. It's such a wonderful thing that, you know, in this day and age, we have the ability to be able to do this, you know, just have a conversation with other heads from literally across the world. So thank you so much, especially considering the fact that it's like 9 p.m., probably like 10:15 for you guys now.
All right.
Really appreciate it.
It was all right. And seriously, it was a great time. Like, you know, we said before that like the hardcore scene's small. So like, this is how you keep it small. Right. So
yeah,
you know, when you guys get music and stuff, send it our way. We'll promote it as much as we can and hopefully get some listeners from the States and stuff. But well-deserved. Like, look, like we're more than happy to have you guys on, but it helps when, you know, your music kicks ass like it does. So
thank you.
We appreciate it too.
Thank you so much.
Cool. Well, all right. Well, thank you guys. And we'll I guess not see you around, but we'll chat.
Hey man, we'll do it.
We'll chat.
Cool.
Thanks, guys.
Right. Yeah.
Thanks, man.